Hey everybody, my name is Caitlin and I am the wonderful Wiccan here on YouTube and the Witch of Whispering Oaks. Today I am bringing you the first of two educational videos. This time on a goddess I use on occasion, particularly on new moon rituals for like ancestor honoring and astral projection. Her name is Hecate. And she is originally, well, we can't say originally, she is more known in the Greek pantheon. However, her origins are debated sometimes among scholars. But she was first mentioned in Hesiod's Theogony, which was written about in the 8th century BCE, and BCE stands for before the Common Era. Some of the other origins are she has come from the Egyptian pantheon as Hecate, Hequet, who is sometimes pictured as a frog or a woman with a frog's head, pictured up there. And she also could be found in Anatolian religion. I could not find anything about the goddess she might have represented at that point. So the topics we will be covering about her today, besides the origin, is the iconography. I can't pronounce things. Sacred animals and plants. What she's the goddess of, and other names she goes by. I'm referring to my notes in some of these because it goes quite a bit. So it goes quite a bit into detail about some things. So first off, iconography. She is usually represented as a three-bodied goddess, which is where people that practice witchcraft today give her the triple goddess, because she represents the triple moon, as in the waning, the waxing, full, and waning moon. She's also represented as the maiden, mother, and crone, symbolizing the 3 stages of womanhood. And but she's more often than not pictured as a triple-bodied woman centered around a pole. Because back then in ancient Greece they would put a pole at a 3-way crossroad with masks on it. I'm sorry about that. But the pole of the mask represents her role as goddess of the crossroads. Ovid in the 1st century AD said, "Look at Hecate standing guard at the crossroads, one face looking in each direction." So that is one of her roles as goddess of the crossroads. Her sacred animals and plants. So let's start with the sacred animals. Her sacred animals were the dogs, snakes, and lions. In this case, it would be Asiatic lions because she was pictured with lions in Asia Minor. And animal lovers might want to skip this part, but sometimes dogs and puppies were sacrificed to her because that was one of her sacred animals, and they symbolize the underworld's ghosts and her. And I'm not going to go into other details about what they sometimes did with the dogs, because I think I would get banned from YouTube for that. And no, it is not the B word either. I can't say what it is, but let's just say PETA would be on my tail if I said something like that. PETA's a joke in my opinion. But another 2 sacred plants to her are the yew and mandrake. And mandrake is not the screaming plant we see in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It does look like a human, hence the name mandrake. And it's also associated with her because people would use dogs to pull up the mandrakes because they thought that the mandrake's cry was fatal to anybody who hears it. So I guess dogs weren't really considered that valuable back then. I don't know. I'm not an ancient person. Um, we are moving on now to her roles. Hecate, the triple goddess, is represented as the goddess of boundaries, like temples, gates, doorways, because two of her symbols are keys and torches. It's like you needed a key to get through a boundary. You needed torches to see in the night, because she's also associated with the underworld, because the place of the dead and the living. The living go to be with the dead. And the underworld. She's also the goddess of the underworld. When there's like a painting of Persephone. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. There's a painting of Hecate with Hermes guiding Persephone through the underworld to get back up to Earth. And she uses the torches. And the one other thing she is known as is the goddess of witchcraft. And we can see that today in the triple moon. And I mean, I do use her because I don't use her. I invoke her. Let's put it that way. I invoke her for ancestor rituals. Like a couple new moons ago, I did a ancestor honoring ritual because there's a thing where a cardinal, it can represent the spirit of a deceased loved one, and I had given this female cardinal 2 blueberries for my last harvest, and she left after that. So I honored my grandmother on that. And the one last section we are going to cover before I end this lesson are her other names. There's like a really big list about her other names, so I just thought I would pick out the 6 that I thought would apply to her in this lesson. One of them is of the earth and underworld, because remember, she represents boundaries, so the boundaries between life and death. Another is holding the keys, so because she holds the keys, that is her symbol. 3, the bringing or bearing light. Why she's pictured with the torches in some cases. Another, before the gate, because they would usually put a statue or like a carving of her at gates and entries to doorways. And another one is free form. I really don't have to go much into that. And the last one is she who frequents crossroads, because that is one thing she monitored was the crossroads. So I hope today's video was a little educational for y'all and interesting. Tune in for my next video on top 5 haunted places. Everyone have a great day. Blessed be. Bye.